Between endless notifications, algorithm changes, doom scrolling. Oh my God, Zach, how the hell is anyone supposed to see your brand out there? Oh, well, we've got some thoughts on that. You've got some thoughts. I've got some thoughts. We'll share those and a frozen cocktail in a minute. All right. Well, welcome back. Good to see you, Zach. Hope everything is well in the Carolinas.
Yep, everything's good. Good to see you too, Rich.
Just hot, hot, hot like the whole rest of the country. Like, ugh,
It's so hot.
so gross.
It's unbearable.
All right. Well, we're going to have a cool down for you in a minute, but first we've got to talk about the topic a little bit more. We teased this up at the front, but we're asking really one of the biggest questions marketers have. And this has been a question like of all time is how do I get noticed? But these days it's even harder with everything that's going on, and people have like a 3-second attention span, and if you don't get them, like, you're just done and they're on to something else because there's so many things competing for our attention. Yeah, so we dub that the attention economy. That's what it is.
It's
Attention
very
is
competitive.
currency.
I mean, it's just hard for people to care about the things you're putting out if you don't understand how it all works, which we'll definitely get into. But I'm really excited for this one. I think there's a lot of good thought points that you could have and that we're going
and
to
I think
have.
it goes back to one of your favorite things, like content kind of is king in an attention economy. You want to make sure you're not wasting time, you're doing stuff that makes sense, and you're actually earning that attention because you have to, instead of just trying to draft up somebody else and, like, you know, fighting for their scraps. It's just, that's not sexy, not at all. All right. So we have a cool cocktail for hot weather. This one, I actually have everything to make this. I almost made it right before we recorded, but I didn't want to get the blender out. So what's the drink, Zach?
So we're doing a frozen limoncello drop, which is awesome for us because as a company, I think we love limoncellos. And
There's a
drinking
little
them by
bit
the
of
pool.
company lore with limoncello involved, but we won't talk about that. We had a pool party one year, and the limoncello spritzes were flowing a little
Yes.
too freely.
So this is a recipe from Delish. As I said, it's
Okay.
perfect for summer weather in this hot weather. And I think we should try it at the pool party. I think this is my way of bringing a new recipe to the pool party. I think it'd be cool to try, especially by your pool. But the way you make this, this recipe serves two. You take you need a half ounce of fresh lemon juice, 10 ounces of frozen lemonade, 1 cup of ice, 3 ounces of vodka, and 2 ounces of store-bought or homemade limoncello, which we will
Just
link
buy
the
it.
recipe
Just-
to.
just buy
I would
it.
just buy it. And then lemon peel for garnish. So to start, squeeze some lemon juice into a small bowl, place sugar on a plate, dip your glasses into lemon juice, then into sugar. That's just for the sugar rim. In a blender, blend frozen lemonade, ice, vodka, limoncello, and lemon juice until smooth. And then divide the drink between 2 glasses and garnish with your lemon peel. Pretty easy.
Yep. And a pro tip: zest the lemon, at least one of the lemons, before, and put that in with the zest in with the sugar, and then you have a little lemony, sugary zest ring, and it'll be pretty. It'll be yellow. This drink almost glows in the dark. Like, limoncello is so bright, with that lemon concentrate. Like, I could do all day long. Like, you
It's
say serves
perfect for
two.
right
I feel
now.
like this is just one drink. Like,
I
if I
mean,
put
depends
this in
how
my
big the
Yeti.
glass is.
I'd put it in my Yeti tumbler. I might need to double this recipe for the 32 ounce Yeti tumbler.
There you go. You're going to have to let me know how it is if you try it.
Yeah, I bought lemons because I needed them. My mom and I were trying to recreate a lavender scree, which is a drink that is from a local bar here, or local restaurant and bar, Talus, up the street. And they just have, like every bar, they have the ingredients like listed on the menu, but not the proportions. So we were like messing with it. And I ended up doing too much lemon juice. Probably about a half ounce of lemon juice in a drink is enough, or in 2 drinks really, because I was doing it for a double for us. I did an ounce and it was super tart, like, ooh. But then it was just gin, creme de violette, lemon juice, and then you shake all that and put it in a glass with ice, and then you add club soda and make it a little fizzy. So that
sounds
was
really
the one,
good.
but I was buying one lemon, and I'm like, I'll just buy 6 lemons. So I have 5 lemons here, so I could do this.
How many times did it take for you? Did you figure out the proportions with that drink then? Like, did
I
it take
think
a little
so.
bit?
I need to go up and just have dinner at the bar and talk to the bartender about it, see if he'll like affirm or deny. But I think it was 2 ounces of gin, an ounce and a half of creme de violette, because it wasn't purple enough, and we were like, it has to be more purple. And that also, like, it's a little bit sweet, I guess, not really, well, kind of. And then a half an ounce of lemon juice, and that's like 1 glass. So you would double that for 2. And then once you put it into your glass, you just, fill it with club soda as, like anything, you just kind of top it off with club soda. And if you like it a little weaker, like my mom's not a big drinker, so she, that's like that, and margaritas are like her only drinks, and a little bit of wine occasionally. But you can put a little bit more club soda in it. I mean, because it is just all booze and lemon juice, like, so, but you can dilute it. And that works.
Sounds like we got a bonus drink this episode. If you
We
figure out
did,
the
sort of accidentally.
correct recipe, that's like the best. We're gonna have to use it for a future one.
Yeah, we could do that. That's just your bonus. But I mean, this frozen limoncello drop, because limoncello drops are like, they're one of like the bar shots you could do, like a kamikaze or something, right? Like,
Yeah, like the classic lemon drop.
yep. But limoncello, so much better. Okay, probably enough on that, and we should probably take a break and get into the attention economy.
Let's do it.
All right, we are back after the limoncello drop and bonus lavender scree that I don't know if I got the recipe right for, but I will confirm that, and we'll move forward with it. But attention economy, that's what we're talking about. So I guess the first thing to do is, Zach, what is the attention economy? And then follow up to that is, why does it suck for brands?
So we kind of covered it in the intro, but attention is the thing that we're all like fighting for, especially on like social media. And I would say just in marketing in general. My mind goes to social media, being like the content person, but we're not just competing with other brands now, right? We're competing with doom scrolling, Netflix, group chats, 24/7 notifications. Just about everything in our lives is trying to get your attention, whether it's even just for 15 seconds now. I mean, it's gotten to the point where like 5-10 seconds, like there's like ads that are competing for just that amount of time. So
yeah. So I'm gonna
crazy.
put on my old man hat here for a minute. But first, like, I've started doing the do not disturb on my watch. Like, when I go to the gym, I have a trainer and everything, and I try to pay attention. But like yesterday I was there, and our chat, like, I did it. I posted a link to this new reading lounge in Omaha, and our Slack chat was going off, and I was getting so many notifications. I'm like, do not disturb. So I do like that feature, but back in the old days, at one point there were only 3 TV networks, and then there were 4, and then there was cable and all that. But when you were looking at advertising, even with all the cable channels and everything, before streaming, before social media, if you were advertising in the newspaper, you were going after people who read the newspaper, and the position made it a better opportunity for people to see you, the size of your ad and the position of the ad. And that was all you worried about. Like, you knew the demographic. On TV, same thing. It was, are you the first ad? Are you the last ad in the break? Who are the other ads competing with you? And there were actually rules where people wouldn't put like you would never see a Home Depot and a Lowe's ad back to back, because they're paying for those. So there was the separation rule that most TV networks and radio stations had. Same thing on radio. Like, you've got a captive audience, and you were really just competing with, do they run to the refrigerator? Do they run to the bathroom? Like, is somebody else's ad more interesting? Like, that was it. But now, like, even just watching TV, I mean, I can be on 2 devices while I'm watching TV. I might be playing a game, and then I'm texting with somebody, or I'm scrolling Facebook or whatever. Like, I don't even know, like, if there's an ad on. Yeah. So that, even in the traditional sense, you're not competing on a fair playground anymore. And then when you talk about just, competing for eyeballs on this device, like, the number of things. I mean, so I've got a Google invite, I've got a DoorDash offer, I've got our calendar invite twice. I've got an app I need to delete that's telling me about some TV show called Baby Daddy is the CEO. I've got Shopify notifications, like my smart app notification. Like I have so many notifications that have come up, like that DoorDash ad. Ooh, it is actually looking at that now. That might be something I want, but they had to put it. It's $5 off at like a burrito at Abelardo's. So I'm like, yeah, that might be good.
I mean, even now, I think you're covering it really well. Like in terms of how people's habits have changed, right? Attention is so much more fragmented. Like just now, even in this podcast, a DoorDash ad caught your attention for 5 seconds. It's just like insane.
Yeah, and you know what? It's still there, so I don't have to do anything with it. But if I accidentally hit X and clear all my notifications, I'll have to go in. But also, if I log into DoorDash and I'm looking for something, that offer is going to be there in my offers. So yeah, I mean, and don't even get me started on email. Like, I don't even know how email marketing, like the legit email marketing, works well anymore. I mean, it does, obviously. And we do it for clients, and I buy things from emails and things. But the last one that caught my attention was a 60% off. Like that's where they had to go to get me to be interested in it. So yeah, so God. I mean, even this podcast, like how many people have tuned out now because we just ranted about all kinds of weird things.
Well, and I think that's so interesting, right? It's like longer form content is definitely like harder to keep people's attention now. And I think just with like, so another thing that I like to think about when it comes to the attention economy, right, is every platform that we're on is so algorithm heavy. So like competing for attention on different algorithms is so hard. There's a lot of people that say that you can't even build community on social media platforms with how algorithms are now and with how social platforms are evolving and changing. Basically, like how if you're investing a lot of time into a social platform that might disappear or like might get shut down, like TikTok, for example, like you might lose that audience that you've grown. So what a lot of people are saying, and what also like kind of I've been like looking into a little bit too, is a lot of real community is moving off platform to semi-owned spaces. So things like newsletters, private groups, Slack is like another example. But
Discord is a good one for gaming.
Discord
and for,
is great.
Like I know podcasts that I follow that have a Discord like channel or Discord or server, I guess, with multiple channels. To take kind of the podcast offline, and it evolved out of they had a Facebook group, and the Facebook group was just sort of dying and had all kinds of rules, and it was Facebook's rules, and Discord is really more of a you make your own rules kind of platform. But yeah, it's still, but like Discord could go down, like it could go away.
Yeah, it could.
Slack
definitely.
could go away. You never know.
It's just, I think the point is though, it's gone from being more of like a town square, right? Like a digital town square, to more of just like a broadcast channel where you're fighting for split seconds of attention on a feed. So that's harder to build a real community if you're like, you're basically just fighting to be seen, let alone like trying to engage with your target audience.
Yep.
And so having an owned audience that actually cares about what you're posting and the information that you're providing is really important. I think, another thing that's starting to shift is zero-click content is becoming more popular. So rather than content on social media teasing bigger content, you need to deliver something valuable in that split second of attention that you're getting.
Yep.
Because otherwise, some people don't even like click rates have gone down across the board for a lot of things. So it's really hard, one, to capture people's attention and then to keep them engaged, like we said. So
yeah, I think it's kind of the equivalent of like, so like, and I kind of every continent and every large city has these, but like being in Times Square and just being bombarded with messages all the time, or Piccadilly Circus in London or Shibuya Crossing in Tokyo, which I had to look up. I knew it was there and I knew what it looked like. That one is insane.
Crazy amount of people that just cross the street.
Millions of people who cross the street, and there's like there's like 8 crosswalks, and it's just everybody like all at once. But so there's people, there's things going on, there's messages being bombarded at you, there's noises, there's visuals. And I was thinking, like, I actually watched like 3 minutes of a video the other day that I saw on social media, but they got me in like that first 5 or 6 seconds. It was interesting enough that I'm like, I got to see where this goes. Versus some of them. So there's the guy who does he critiques people making really shitty food. And so he, and he'll give his commentary, and sometimes like I'll stay with it for the whole, like, it's like usually 60 or 90 seconds of this video of somebody making just some abomination of a food dish. And sometimes like I'll get like 15 seconds into it and he's just not hitting it for me, and I'm off, I scroll on. So it's really, I think, about understanding your audience, what they're going to tolerate, what they're going to enjoy, and really trying to ping that enjoy piece, if you're going to get them at all. Which, I mean, it kind of brings it up to one of the topics we have here, like, is video still king? We're talking a lot about video because it grabs you, right?
It does grab you. It still works for sure. A lot of short form video obviously is like, obviously like the things that we're talking about. I would say things like carousels though, and like just like funny like memes or interactive stuff is also becoming more popular. I feel like video had this moment where it was like everybody was talking about video, everybody needs to post video, every kind of like content you need to put out there is video. But there's other things that have been working for like especially like B2B businesses too. So I think it's still very high up on the list, but I don't know if it's like the king above all things.
I do think, and Instagram kind of started this, but telling a story through like swipes, like a carousel, because you can do that in an Instagram post. You can also do that in your reels, right? Like you could post still images that as I go through them, I learn a story. Or you can post a series of videos that take me through. I think my biggest issue that I have with, when it gets to reels or TikTok, those types of things is, if I take a 60-second video and I put it in my reel, it's only going to put like 15 seconds of it in there, and then you've got to click through to the original to see it. And on Instagram, it's not an issue, but when those reels are shared on Facebook, it won't let you click through. It just moves on to the next reel. Like, it doesn't, even though Facebook and Instagram are both meta, on Instagram, you can click a certain spot, like I think it's the person's name or something, and it takes you right to the full reel on their account. But if you try that in Facebook, it's like, yeah, no, we don't know what you're doing, and it just moves on to the next reel. And I think that's another issue, right? The content leaves us really fast, and it's hard to go back and find it.
It's hard to make it. You have to really make an impact too to gain like people's follows, because especially when you're in like scrollable content, it's like, oh, this sucks, I'm just gonna go to the next thing. You're chasing like dopamine hits basically.
And when you scroll back, it's gone. Like the algorithm has said, oh, you didn't like that, and it threw it away. And it's not even in your, like, the scroll back isn't a static feed. It's not like a scroll of paper where you can go back up and read a paragraph again. Sometimes you can go back to things, but a lot of times you'll scroll back up and be like, where is it? I don't know where it is. And yeah, it's gone. Sorry, you missed it.
I think something to take away from the kind of content that earns attention, it needs to be either all three of these things or at least one of these three things. It needs to be useful, entertaining, or surprising. And if it's all three, then you probably have a good piece of content on your hands, especially in today's attention economy.
Yeah, there's a book, Jonah somebody, I used to use it to teach, but it's called, the subtitle is How Things Catch On, and now I can't remember the name of the book. But it's all about that, and it's about like, he really hates the word viral. I'm gonna look it up. Contagious: How Things Catch On, by Jonah Berger. I was right, it's Jonah Berger. It's only like $10 on Amazon. It's really like completely worth the read. Thrift books, you can get it for like $5 if you find a used one. But he goes through the elements that, like, he's got 6 elements, but those 3 are really big ones in there about how things catch on. Like, it's also got to be easily shareable. Like, I've got to have something that it's not an effort for me to share this. I just have to be able to like, boop, boop, done, share it. But yeah, that value piece, I got to get something out of it, right? I don't care what it
Yeah.
is. And even if it's just a laugh, that's fine, as long as it's a good laugh.
And I think that kind of brings us to like kind of our like next like set of talking points too a little bit is kind of should brands focus on quick hit viral stuff or slow burn trust builders? And in my opinion, like viral is a really bad word to use for like any kind of the content you're creating. I think you need a balance between the quick hitting stuff and the slow burning trust builders. The quick hitting stuff to catch people's attention and hook them in. And then you need that slow burning stuff to build more of a commitment and just create small moments of trust so that you can build more like of an audience and commitment over time.
Yep.
So things that are useful in the moment, but also things that will provide value to those people that we've hooked in. So
Yeah, and it also goes back to is I don't know, last episode or a couple episodes ago we were talking about content, and we were talking a lot about like, do you have the capacity to actually do this? Can you actually execute and keep executing? Because even to do a slow burn, you don't have to execute as often, but you've got to be consistent and keep your voice and keep people in. Otherwise, they're gone and you lose them. That quick hit viral thing, those are hard to figure out. So I feel like the number one thing is like know your audience and be authentic to your audience.
yeah.
Like, what do they like? What do they care about? And just be authentic to that. And if you can do that, you'll have an easier time connecting with them and getting their attention.
If you just focus on building or trying to build it on creating and building content that tries to go viral, then even if you go viral, you have nothing to keep people like in your audience following what you're doing. They'll quickly bounce away, like you said.
Yep.
Like I can create a viral video with like hundreds of thousands of views, but if I don't have that trust building, like good, valuable content to provide them to go along with it, then you caught people's attention, but that's all you did. You didn't.
You're a one hit wonder, right? You're the band that put out a hit and then couldn't put out anything else to save their lives that anybody cared about, and you had one hit and that was it. And that can be fine, but like not if you're trying to sustain your brand and grow your brand.
Well, and it's also kind of a flip side thing, right? If you're not trying to hook people's attention, even and you just have slow building like trust like content, then nobody will be able to see the good stuff you're putting out, right? Mm-hmm. So there's a balance there, and it's a really tricky balance, which a lot of people are still trying to figure out, especially with how short people's attention spans are becoming every single year. So it's crazy.
And I think it's also the whole I'm like going to lose my train of thought here because I was trying to listen to you actively and not think about my next thing. But I know what I was going to say. Duh. It completely involves you. So you did a blog post for us a while back that was best late night eats in Omaha. Has nothing to do with our business except that, some of our people are in Omaha. We're in the Midwest. And we like food, but it really doesn't. It's not what we do. Like, we're not a food review site or whatever. And that one has more views and reads on our blog like by thousands of anything else.
It still gets views too, especially around the College World Series.
Yep. No, I know. Because it ranks with Google. It's like a great one when you search for like places to eat in Omaha or late night eats in Omaha. But those aren't necessarily terms we want to rank for, right? So that can happen. And you weren't trying to go for quick hit viral content. Like, we were just playing with like community stuff and things, and no one had any idea that would take off like that. Mm-hmm. But it's a great blog post. When you try to make something viral, though, you run the risk of forcing yourself into a similar situation where you've suddenly got this piece of content, has nothing to do with your business. It's good and people like it, but it doesn't grow your business. It doesn't enhance your brand. I mean, you could say it maybe enhances our brand for people who want to work with us because they know we like food, and that's probably important if you're going to be here. But it's not the core of what we do. And I think that's where a lot of people really lose with viral content or attempting viral content.
Yeah, for sure. I think another like point to this, and we kind of discussed this earlier, is building a community. If you are able to hook people in and grab their attention, sending them to a newsletter, sending them to a Discord, sending them to a semi-owned channel, or like a place where they can continue to get your content or your higher quality, longer form content, is a great way to kind of build your community through hooking people in. And I think kind of like on the point I talked about earlier, is really like catching people's attention is one thing, but having the content to support keeping them there is another. And being able to have a platform to keep them there is also another step to this, because it's all these social media platforms, especially TikTok and all of the Instagram Reels, YouTube Shorts, LinkedIn is even getting a little bit like more like bite-sized like grabs of attention and more scrollable. I think it's really important to have that owned or semi-owned channel, because it's really hard to like catch people's attention. Like the point of the whole video, but still like.
And if you have that semi-owned channel, like you've got to manage it. Like the one that I was talking about for the podcast I listened to, like the two hosts are in there a bit, but they're not in there a ton. They have full-time jobs. They host this podcast. They wrote a book. Like they've got lives, but their producer is in there, but he's not the moderator of the whole thing. He's just in there fairly often, but he also uses it to generate content. Like he does polls and he asks questions, and there's a suggest a topic channel and all that. But there are other mods that they have managing that community to keep it going. And theirs is all volunteer because it's a podcast. It's free. I mean, you can do their Patreon and whatnot if you want to, but you've got to be able to manage that community. If you just build a community, even if people come to it, like if nobody manages it, I'm leaving. I'm done. Like I'm out. And I think that's one of the things, if you are looking at like things going viral, one, it's going to be who your staff are and how clever they are and how funny they are. And two, it's going to be, have you given them the authority to just do things? And I go back to Oreos. You could still dunk in the dark when the power went out at the Super Bowl. And that was a pretty low level, I'm sure, social media manager who was able to whip up a graphic with what they had and pop it out there, like in real time, and realize that no one's going to yell at them for doing that. Nobody's going to fire them for like not getting it approved by legal. But know your brand, know your audience, and give your people autonomy to be able to do that. Like you've got to build those rails for them or that fence for them, and then let them do anything they want to inside that fence. So they know the rules and can do that. Same thing with like Wendy's and some of those other great ones that we talk about, where almost every tweet goes viral. Like when people are screen grabbing your tweets and reposting them, and you're not being like a total dick to people or, you know, being evil, because that happens too. When they're doing it in a fun, funny way, like, oh my God, can you believe this? This is so great. You're there. You've got it. Like when people are taking your content and making more content out of it, you're golden.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. I don't know. I really like this discussion. I think there's a lot to it. It's really hard. A lot of people don't realize or get stuck in thinking like through a lot of things that I don't know. I don't know how to describe it, but basically like the attention economy is like so important to understand when you're like posting and putting things out on social media. Mm-hmm. Knowing how to hook people's attention and like be surprising and useful is super important. And I think like if you're going to take away anything from this, like take away that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, 100%. I think that's a pretty good place to leave it. But like, yeah, surprising, entertaining, useful, got to be something. There's got to be something in it for me when you put it out there. Like as your audience, if I don't know what I get out of it, scrolling on. I'm going to just go back to my doom scrolling. Oh, well, awesome. There's another episode, Zach. I think that's pretty good. So thank you everybody for listening. This was a great episode. Like, it was really fun to just chat about random stuff like this. Like, it's a tough one. But we didn't give anybody any answers really either, except like try to be useful or helpful, like, or funny. Um, but it's really good. All right.
It's
So we will be back. Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
Oh, yeah. As always, you can find our agency at antidote71.com, where you can find all of our links to all of our social media channels. Hopefully, we can hook you in on some of those channels and surprise
Maybe
you.
our content's interesting. I don't know.
And if you've got a question, head to ctapodcast.live to send us an email or leave a voice message at 402-718-9971. It says who knows your question might land in a future episode, but we all know
Oh, it will.
if you send a question, it will definitely be on a future episode of the podcast. So
If you
yeah.
just want to send a question about like Zach's hair care routine, we will answer that on a future podcast. 100%.
Just comment on a post too. Like we'll
You
include it
can do that
anyway,
too.
honestly.
All right, and we will be back next week. We'll have a guest, our very own Riley, who will probably have some news of his own at that point, I think. We'll let him share that. But we're going to talk the basics of LinkedIn advertising. So it can kind of be a confusing black hole, and it can get expensive because their minimum, I think, is $20 a day or something like that. So you're going to commit $600 if you're going to go in there for a small business. Some small businesses, that's a lot. But Riley's going to talk to us about how we do that for clients, the successes we're having. That was a hard word to say, successes. And then just some ways for you to get started. So we'll be back with that next week. And until then, enjoy and have a great week.